Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
This is Mixi from Stitched Up Heart, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guest do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather. As always, I bring you guys awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to have Mixi, the mighty Mixi, I should say, vocalist of Stitched Up Heart.
The mighty Mixi.
That's right.
I love it.
Stitched Up Heart has released their single, Lost, featuring Godsmack Sully Erna off their new upcoming album. Also, Stitched Up Heart will be on tour in July with Like a Storm, Through Fire, and Wilson. We're going to be talking about all this good stuff. So, Mixi, how's it going?
Hey, it's going good. I'm just hanging out, getting ready for tour. Yeah, good day.
Seems like since 2016's debut album for you guys, man, it's just like picked up. I mean, honestly, it just seems like it's just like a rocket ship for some reason.
Yeah, it has been kind of a roller coaster. A lot of things have happened that we really didn't expect to happen, and it's we're just riding the wave, I guess.
How was the tour with Godsmack? 'Cause I know you and Sully go back a long way, the band and everything, but how was the tour with Godsmack?
It was like a dream come true. I mean, I think I had. Have you ever had any of those reoccurring dreams that like happen over and over again?
Oh yeah.
And when I was a little girl, I kept having this dream of like a stage as far as I could run to the other side of the stage, and I'd be out of breath by the time I got there. It was so big, and people as far as the eye can see, and it was like living that dream over and over again every single day. So it was definitely really amazing.
And I'm glad to see you guys got that opportunity to get on tour with a big national band like that, because that's going to, I think, to me, with your guys' style of music and the newer sound, and I don't mean it in a bad way, I mean it in a great way, I think it's going to open up more doors for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. We as artists, the next record's going to be a little different than the last one, but, we're evolving and we're trying to, like, be innovative and try new things. And, I mean, almost everything has been done when it comes to music, so
Sure.
The challenge is always trying to find something that is unique and makes it unique to itself, so that it doesn't sound like everything else, So
Exactly.
that was the main goal.
How's it been working with Red Music / Sony? How's it been working with those folks so far?
It's really cool. Everybody's super nice. They all have really great ideas on how to roll out the next album. We're trying something a little new this time that I'm really excited about, because I don't know of any rock bands that have actually tried rolling out an album the way that we're going to do this one. So it's definitely something different and unique. And I can't really give away exactly how it's going to go, because it has to be a surprise. But it's something, I think everybody will get something new constantly.
I want to go back here just a little bit. How much of an influence was Sully for Stitched Up Heart? And how much help did he give you guys going forward with all this?
Man, he's just been incredible. We became friends a couple of years ago. We collaborated on a couple songs, and it was just kind of one of those connections. When you meet someone and you like instantly become best friends, it's almost like you've known each other your whole life.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. And, over time we just ended up being really great friends, and he saw the band play a few times, and he's kind of, a guy that likes to help the little guys and put us in front of all these people and do stuff to kind of pay it forward for all the stuff that he's been gifted in his life and his career. So I think it's just really amazing that he's the kind of person. There's not enough people out there like that are willing to help, the underdogs out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Throw them a bone every now and again, guys. I mean, that's how they got their start, so why not?
Exactly. It's been really, really amazing.
What's impressed or excited you the most about working on this new album, if anything, Mixi? Is there anything that stands out for you, possibly?
I think that the most exciting part was just getting Well, I mean, we Never Alone was released in 2016. So we've been touring on the same songs for so long. And I think the most exciting part was to try to evolve a little bit and create something new that to us that doesn't just come super naturally, that kind of, growing, like the growing and the writing and the challenge of making art better than what you just did. And it's all almost scary, but exciting. And, and I don't know, I think that was finding the right words to connect to people as well. I think that was very important. So I don't know. I think just creating new work.
Yeah, and plus you want to put the stuff out there that you're going to be happy with, but plus still keep those fans who started out liking you to begin with. And that's a constant struggle, I should say, possibly.
Yeah, I think almost every artist has to go through that unless they, keep making the same album over and over again. And the big challenge for me is I never ever want to make the same record I just did. We could, easily make Never Alone version 2, but it's like, why pigeonhole ourselves into this one sound, and then for the rest of our careers with Stitched Up Heart, it'll have to sound like that. So I want the music to always kind of evolve with the times and modernize and change a little bit.
So working on this album, did it allow you to push beyond your comfort zone other than, 2016's debut album, Never Alone? Is this album a little more darker, possibly?
Lyrically, I was in a more of a kind of a dark headspace. So lyrically, yeah, but almost the music and the melodies that go along with it kind of balances it out. So it's not like depressing or anything like that, but it digs a little deeper out of your comfort zone. I guess I feel like that's the best way to write. I mean, I feel like if you're writing something that's easy and comfortable, then you're really not challenging yourself to be vulnerable enough to really get deep on like the real what it's all about inside, Mm-hmm. And you're just skimming the surface if you're not challenging yourself to find the words or to say the things that aren't said, So yeah, it's always a challenge, but the challenge is exciting.
Other than Lost, are there any songs standing out more to you than any right now that you could talk about on this album? I know it must change every time that you listen to it and every time you're working on it, but do you have any that stand out for you possibly?
I would have to say Darkness is one of my favorites, and it's also the title of the album, which we haven't actually given away yet, so there you go.
Kudos!
It is, oops, my bad. It is the title track, and I think the reason we chose that one is because it plays into kind of a reoccurring theme lyrically throughout the album about going through dark times over and over again and not being afraid anymore because you know that you've made it out on the other side before.
So many people are scared of that, I think. They want to hide and not go forward. And Lost was produced by Matt Good from First to Last and Drugs. Is he also going to be producing the album, or what's in the works?
Yeah, the album's all done. We're all done with it. It's mixed, it's mastered, it's ready to go. He did the whole thing. He was just one of those magical producers that I think a lot of our writing for this record came down to finding the exact chemistry that we wanted for the album, because I feel like a producer is almost like another member of the band, and they add that extra spark into what you're trying to do. So him and I had a very, very, very similar vision on what we wanted to do. So it was just a great collaboration.
Working with him, though, Mixi, did he get things out of you guys that may have not been presented on the previous album?
Oh, absolutely. I think, like I said, it's all the chemistry when you add a producer in the mix that can change something from being one thing to completely different. And as far as it was just so comfortable, the words were easy for me to come up with. He helped a lot with melodies and things like improving a melody that I would have over something. And he'd be like, oh, what if you just added this extra note in this one part? Or something like that. But as far as, he had a huge influence on this album. He's an amazing, talented producer. So
the first single was Lost off this new album. Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs on the album, which would be the first single? It's kind of a no-brainer, I would imagine. But, were there others that was pushing toward to be the first single?
Well, Lost was the first one we thought would kind of segue into from the last album to the next album, before Sully even sang on it, it was already going to be a first release anyway. And then, of course, Sully sang on it, and then, it had a little more traction than we thought would happen with that song. So, it's taking its own wings almost, so to speak. So, yeah, that was always the first original one to come up with. The next song that I know is going to be the next kind of focus track, it's called Warrior, and it wasn't going to make the record, and now it's like everybody's favorite. So I thought that was really cool because I kind of fought for it, and we kind of rewrote some of the musical parts to it because originally it was a little too far left, and then we kind of dialed it back in, and it became something that everybody seems to love. So I'm really happy about that one.
So correct me if I'm wrong, there were nearly 70 songs written for this album. Are there any songs that did not make this album that could see the light of day on the next one down the line maybe?
Yeah, what happened is we only ended up using the last bit of songs that we wrote. We wrote, like, out of 70, the last 14 were the ones that we kept.
Wow.
Maybe 2 in, somewhere in between, but it ended up being the ones in the end. I don't know if it's one of those things that, the newest song you write is, like, more exciting to you, but there's a lot of great songs that are just kind of chilling maybe in the library and the archives. Maybe we'll use them one day. I don't know, but I just think that we finally dialed in what we wanted to say and how it would all kind of be. So it was only the last songs that we ended up using.
Who did the cover or photo art for this album?
His name's Damien. He did the last album artwork for Never Alone as well. And I just really, really loved how he was able to come up with something that I worded into it, and he came up with something so beautiful. So with this next album, I wanted the same artist, so it was kind of it kind of blended with the last record, and I wanted it to have some consistency. And he did a great job. I've never even had to ask him to change anything. His art is just amazing.
Mixi, what do you hope everyone takes away from this new album, or message you hope they hear while listening to it, or just any of Stitched Up Heart's music in general? What do you hope everyone gets from it?
I really hope to connect. I think that's the biggest thing for me is to connect lyrically with people as deep as I possibly can. And every single day that we wrote this song, we wrote the album, I kind of like asked or prayed, I guess, or whatever it is, asked the universe to give me the right words to speak to people deep as I possibly could to really reach people. And, I hope that's what happens. I hope I can connect with as many people as deep as possible.
I know this is two concepts, but when you're coming into the recording studio, do you like to do anything differently during that writing and recording process to maybe help keep your mind fresh and open to not get bored or get stale with it? Do you do anything that helps you possibly?
Yeah, for inspiration, I'll listen to some motivational speaking, or I'll do something like meditate, or something that would, I don't know, I take myself out of my comfort zone before I go into a session, and I try to kind of come up with a concept that the song will be about, whatever it is. And meditating really helps.
What can fans expect at a show from Stitched Up Heart who have not got to see you guys live as of yet?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're going to be going out on the road in July again, and I will probably be on the road for the next 2 years until we start writing the next record.
Oh, geez. Wow, 2 years.
Yeah.
That's good, though. It's like a...
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun. This is why I love doing music, is because I can go from writing an album for a year and working on the creative part of it, and then going and exploring the world for a couple of years, and then going back and writing again. And so it's like it changes things up and nothing gets repetitive and boring.
Look at Metallica. I think they toured like 4 or 6 years on the Black Album. I mean, the world's endless. It's like it's at your tip. We're living in the digital era now of recording albums to get music out quicker. Plus, now we got the social media side of it. Do you like this that we're in right now?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's always a way around the way that the platforms all, you have to like evolve with the way that music is, the way that people listen to music. And I mean, it's gone from records to cassette to CDs to, now people still want records, but digital where you don't even have a CD. So it's always going to evolve, and, you can't stop the world from turning. So you just have to kind of figure out how to make it work.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you, Mixi, that said, yeah, I want to do that?
I think, I didn't really know that that's where I wanted to go. I just really was drawn to instruments. My first instrument was a tuba. I played the tuba for 3 years in middle school. I was a super big nerd. And then when I got into high school, I didn't want to carry a sousaphone on Friday nights at the new school I was going to. So I picked up a guitar. I learned the guitar at 15, and then I just was like drawn to the music part. I didn't really know that I could perform in front of people for a while. I would write songs and kind of play them in my room and stuff for a long time, and then I just started kind of going to open mic nights and facing my fears, because I used to get really, really scared before I would play in front of people. And I think that if you don't have any sort of excitement or anxiousness or something before you do something like that, especially like an arena full of people with Godsmack, then you're not doing what you love, right? You have to follow your heart, and sometimes your heart can scare you. Yeah, I just loved it, and I knew it was exciting, and I was just drawn to it.
I played in a little band in high school, and just playing in front of 10 people, I could not do it. I just was like, no. But overcome it, I overcome it. But God, I couldn't imagine on what you guys actually get to do. It blows my mind. That's why I have so much respect for what you all do.
I think it took a lot of learning and growing and getting comfortable with it. And also, I used to play like acoustic guitar by myself. So having like a whole band with you, it feels like, you got your crew on stage. So you all got each other's back, and you're going to be there, and you see, your friends next to you, and you're not alone in it, and then you see the people who are having a lot of fun. There's always going to be the people that don't like it, and that's just the way it is with anything anybody does. So you just got to feed off the energy of the people that are really just having a good time with it. And then it just makes you more happy. And then the feeling you get after you get off that stage, it's just euphoric. It's amazing.
Is there a country that stands out or shocks you that Stitched Up Heart gets support from, or your music even gets played in? Has there been a country that you've seen that kind of shocks you?
Well, I think right now we just went to Canada, and we did 11 shows with Godsmack there. So we played in front of at least 100,000 people in a month. And so Canada is our new cool place, but we haven't actually gone anywhere aside from Mexico, Canada, and America. So we have never been across the ocean yet, and that's a huge goal. We have fans in Russia and England and China and stuff like that. So that would be really cool to go out there and see them.
I know this is a crazy question. I know you've got to check one of these off your bucket list, but is there a band on the bucket list you would like to work, tour with, or maybe even do an old school album split with? Do you have anybody possibly, other than Godsmack, of course?
Yeah, I know Godsmack's always my number one go-to, but I love Five Finger Death Punch and Papa Roach, Breaking Ben, Shinedown. Yeah, I mean, those are the ones that we haven't gotten to tour with yet, so those would be the ones I would absolutely love to.
When can we expect the new album to be out this year, possibly?
I can't tell you,
okay,
but I will say this, that there will be something new every single month, new music every single month.
How can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, tour dates, all that good stuff? How can they do that?
You can either go to stitchedupheart.org, and it has our Facebook, which is Stitched Up Heart, and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube.
And before I let you go, Mixi, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Yeah, absolutely. This is Mixi from Stitched Up Heart, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and soon our Twitch link. And also get out and check out Stitched Up Heart. You will not be disappointed in their music. If you do, then hey, there's other stuff out there for you. Trust me, they're a really good band. Mixi, I wish you guys the best of luck as always.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.